So it's been at least 2 weeks since Kirby Air Riders was announced for the Switch 2, and, we do know this game's supposed to be coming out sometime this year in 2025. We don't know exactly when. We don't know too much about, like, the features or anything like that, but, if I had to take a guess, it's going to be an expansion of what we saw in the first Kirby Air Ride game from 2003. I'm pretty sure, like, certain game modes like Air Ride and Top Ride and, City Trial, all that stuff is going to make a comeback in this upcoming game. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for some new game modes as well, and I'm expecting like this game to have online co-op gameplay because or online multiplayer gameplay because like, why not? Because that's the thing when it comes to racing games or anything multiplayer related, and I think, Mario Kart World's supposed to be doing that as well, and that's also another thing. I'm kinda shocked that this game is coming out the same year as, Mario Kart World because I feel like even though this game is 22 years in the making, it might get overshadowed by Mario Kart World because when you think about the most recent Nintendo Direct presentation, that was the game that everybody was talking about for the most part. And not only that, the Mario Kart series has been consistent um, within the past 2 decades in terms of coming out with new games every few years. Kirby Air Ride, the first game, I feel like it appealed to a niche audience of gamers, and I feel like that's the case with the Kirby franchise as well. Even though Kirby is a big name and like a lot of people know who he is, he still doesn't appeal to casuals to the same extent as Mario does. He doesn't sell as many games as Mario does, but I feel like the hype and the anticipation for this game is something that's going to be positive in terms of helping this game do well in terms of sales. But at the same time, you got to look at when this game might come out because a lot of people know that tariffs are supposed to be causing the price of like all kinds of like foreign goods to go up dramatically. And if that is the case, um, it might be one of those things where this game doesn't do too well in sales because of how high it's priced. And the same thing could be said for Mario Kart World and the Switch too, unless they all decide to get it before July. But yeah, I mean, we know like, Mario Kart World's coming out, before, July or whatever. It's coming out on June 5th, which I believe is the same day the Switch 2 is coming out. Kirby Air Riders look like ain't gonna be coming out until a little bit later this year because Nintendo hasn't officially announced the release date for it or giving us a price for this game at all. But but yeah, I feel like, Kirby Air Riders is one of those games that it'll probably be like how it was. It's going to be like how the first Kirby Air Ride game was from 2003. It's going to be one of those games that people are quite fond of, and it's probably going to end up selling less than it's supposed to because I believe the Kirby Air Ride game for GameCube back in 2003 came out the same year as Mario Kart Double Dash, and more people paid attention to Mario Kart Double Dash than they did Kirby Air Ride, and I feel like that was a mistake on Nintendo's part because they should have released Kirby Air Ride in a different year where they didn't have a lot going for them. And I could kind of say the same thing for Kirby Air Riders because I feel like if Nintendo had released this game for the original Switch console last year, like in 2024, back when they didn't have any like high profile video game releases, it probably would have stood out more and most likely would have been the best selling video game of 2024 in relation to, I guess, Nintendo games. But it is what it is. And I think in a way they were kind of smart saving Kirby Air Riders for the Switch too. And And yeah, I mean, I feel like Kirby Air Riders is something that's going to exceed a lot of people's expectations in terms of gameplay, in terms of game modes, and in terms of having a high replay value.